Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry and Goodreads and Instagram as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a wonderful week since I last podcasted. We have had a very busy one. My son is about to start third grade, which is a very important grade, as every grade is. So it's been a lot of getting everything ready, getting all his school supplies. One of the first schools he went to, both the schools he's been to, he was homeschooled a year, but both the other schools he's been to have been private, and the first private school we went to, we were kind of spoiled because you paid tuition and you didn't have to buy any school supplies. They just had them all for you. But this school, we've had to buy all the school supplies, so it's a long, long list, and we've been finishing it up this weekend, and we're still not done. So that's kind of been just my week, getting ready for back to school stuff, because he starts tomorrow. But I do have some finished knitting because I carry my knitting around with me everywhere. I have finished my daughter's socks, and these are they aren't any pattern. They're just little toddler socks that I improvised. And this color is my first Regia, and this is a Space Cadet Mini. And the next thing I have is my daughter's Starboard top, and I knit this out of some Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the Rhubarb colorway, and I love how this turned out. She's already worn it. She would wear it when it just had one sleeve done and when the other sleeve was done and the neckband wasn't done, because at night, last night, we were all watching a movie together and the air conditioning was on, so she was kind of cold. So she wore her sweater and she pulled the ends of the sleeves down over the tips of her hands and hid her hands in the pocket. And this has kind of been sealing the deal that in my head I need to knit her entire winter wardrobe, because it's just so cute, and she's 3. She won't want this when she's older, probably. She may ask for occasional things, but she won't just want mommy to knit her all the things. So I will be knitting a whole bunch more sweaters for my daughter for this winter. And the Starboard is adorable. You can kind of see. I basically followed the pattern except for a tiny bit, shall I say. I also did an in-between a 4 and a 6 size so that she could wear it for longer. I made the sleeves longer. And most of the sewing ends have been done in, but not all. Made the sleeves longer so she can roll it up if she wants to, or tuck her hands in and hide them when they're cold. That's the collar. And it's just very simple. And then adorable little pockets. And these pockets are longer up towards the middle to where the stomach is, and then the side, they go down, and they're perfect. And then the pattern, if you see on the pocket at the bottom, it's in garter stitch. Well, on the pattern, it has that all in reverse stockinette, and then you sew it up. But I just wanted it to all be the same. Just like that. I love this tweed and the pink, and I'm excited. First done sweater for my daughter for this winter. Now onto my works in progress. Let me show you my husband's socks first. Will, when you watch this, look away for about 2 minutes. My husband's name is Will. And these are some Gnome Acre socks. I'm using my same bag I had last week, a Tangerine Designs one. And this is Dean Winchester color. I didn't get a lot more done on these because I'm knitting them with my signatures, which were my Mother's Day present this year, and I like them and they're fast, but I poke with my finger and it does poke them quite hard after a while because they're pointy. So I just, I'm doing a couple rows at a time. But that's what that looks like. And I am about an inch away from the heel, so I'm excited. It's very good guy colors. I think he'll like them. And his birthday is pretty close to Christmas, so this will either be for Christmas or for his birthday. The next thing I worked on is in my Bags by Awesome Granny, the Happiest Whales bag. See? So happy. And this is my Coraline sweater by Ysolda Teague. And this has been a sweater, I've had the yarn to knit this sweater for forever, and it's been already in my library, and I'm just doing it now. Madeline Tosh in the teddy bear colorway. It's pashmina, and it's very soft. I'm beginning to get a little bit nervous that I don't have enough yarn for this. I have 3 skeins of this, and I normally use a lot less than the pattern calls for typically, but I don't know. I need to start searching for another skein because I'm a little over halfway through the body. That's all I have left of this skein, so I still have to do the rest of the body, 3/4 length sleeves, and the yoke. That's what it looks like. And I've got these on my Knitter's Pride marbles, which I love. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I have a progress marker to show you. That's where I was last time. And this is just a Little T Studios project marker. I know there are a whole bunch of ones on Etsy that sell, and there's a really popular one. I can't remember her name, and I went to look on hers, but there was a waiting list, so I just went to one that had some ready to ship out. So last time I showed it, I was right here, and I've knit all of this. And I'm just showing this to you guys every other week because it's just plain stockinette. It wouldn't be very interesting to see every week. The next thing I have that I worked on is my biscuit cowl, which is for my best friend Judy. And I talked about last week how this is intentional knitting. Every time I'm knitting on it, I'm thinking about her and everything. So this is in my Halsey yarn bag. See, right there. And the yarn I'm using for this is very old stash. This is one of my 15 oldest skeins, and it's a Christmas present, so that's a double bonus. And that's all the information for it. Sandcastle is the colorway, and it's Spirit Trails Freya. And I've come a really long way on this. I have finished the lace, and I'm on to the biscuit rib part, so this is almost done. I am over halfway. And the next part is easy because there's no lace, it's just a rib. But you can kind of see what it's going to look like. It needs to be blocked. This will be blocked pretty aggressively. You can see that. The bobbles were not too bad to make. There's one every 12 stitches, and there are almost 300 stitches on this. And the lace will block out like that. So I will be blocking this. I probably need to buy some T-pens or something because I do not have any kind of blocking things like any pokey things to stick in my knitting to block it. Pokey things. But the last thing I have to show you this week is a brand new cast on. I have been having cast-on-itis. There are about 8 things that I want to cast on right now. After I record this podcast, I have them balled up. I have the needles ready to go. Thank goodness I don't have multiple sets of interchangeable needles in just one, because who knows how the cast-on possibilities would be limitless. And something about, it's so funny because it's still August, but in my mind, we're turning a corner. I may obsessively look at weather.com to see when that changes to where we start going from 100-degree days. Yes, it's in the hundreds right now. I think we're done with that, but we're going down to where it's going to be in the 90s. Yay! So I start wanting to cast on everything because in my head, we're on the downward walk part towards fall, and I'm really excited. So you may see a ton of new cast-ons next week. Maybe I'll be able to slow the desire to do that, but I really want to just cast on so many things. And like I said, I want my daughter's entire winter wardrobe to be hand knit. And my mom's giving me a sewing machine, so that is very exciting because I have one, but it's broken and she broke it. So she's getting me a new one. Very sweet of her. She didn't have to, but she wanted to. And the new thing that I have cast on, I don't know if I said, but the biscuit cowl that I'm knitting for my best friend is by Bonnie Sinnott. And this is Nature's Lace, and it is by Susan Ashcroft. And I just have a little bit done, start of the shawl. And I already have other shawls that I want to knit. Like I said, 8 things ready to cast on, and this is the reason why this got cast on, because this yarn, I just wanted to play with it. And it's Vice yarns, and this is in the Rumor Has It information for you right there. Look at that. It's so neat how it goes through the colors, and you would not expect these colors to be together, at least I wouldn't. And I'm really excited to get to the next color and the next color. I just started working on that, I think a couple of days ago, so it's not very far. And this is in my Casey's Pockets to Go bag. That is all of my works in progress. But I can't imagine if I cast on 8 things, that would be 12, well, some of these will be done, but that would be 11 things on the needles. I like to have about 3 or 4. 7 or 8, I start getting a little nervous. And the last time, if you've watched the podcast for a while, the last time I got cast on all the things feeling was in spring. So maybe when I feel that spring is coming and when I feel that fall is coming, even though fall's a long way away because I live in Texas. But I start wanting to cast on everything, and I told myself in the spring that I would let myself cast on whatever I wanted, and I only cast on 2 or 3 new things. So I might let myself do that again and see how many I actually do cast on. But that's my new appeasing me. It's amazing to me how I let myself cast on that one new thing, and then all the other things that I was already working on, suddenly I wanted to work on those again. It was just I needed that one little bit of something new. Does that ever happen to you, where everything you're working on, you're kind of working on it, and then you cast on something new, and all of a sudden everything else looks great too? So that's what happened to me this week. I'm just having some water, because like I said, it is pretty hot. One of the things I'm actually really, really wanting to cast on is Irish has been showing in our Ravelry group. She is doing, I forget who does the pattern, but it is a mittens advent calendar. And I meant to bring down the yarn that I have. I already have yarn picked out for it. And they're little mittens, and they have Fair Isle, or I guess colorwork, not Fair Isle, like colorwork designs on them. And they have little numbers, I believe, counting down to Christmas. And she's scaling it out so that you'll be done before December 1st, and you can use them for a Christmas advent calendar. And I think that would be wonderful to have little chocolates in there, or something for my kids to open it. I have all these ideas of traditions. I love traditions, of things that I would just want to do, and we'll see if I get around to it. But even if I just made a few of the mittens, that would be good, right? I don't know. I could hang them. I'm thinking of ideas. I could hang them as like a banner too. But I am probably going to be starting that pretty soon. I'm pretty far behind. Irish just showed today or yesterday all her mittens that she has done. So if you want to go check them out, she has them in the things that we've been working on thread in the group. And I would be pretty far behind, but I could just kind of finish them into December, kind of, so I could do one and then just go in order and see how many I get done and be okay with how many. But they're really cute, so you should definitely go check that out if you like long-term little tiny projects that you can do. And then I have some wonderful spinning to show this week. I forgot, this is Cloudlover. I can't remember, maybe it's the Lady Sybil color. But this has been done for a while. I just forgot to bring it down and show you. It's so beautiful. You can tell that when I started buying spinning fiber, I was very much had a blue palette. And this you can kind of see hints of trend where I was starting to like purple as well. So that is the Cloudlover that I spun up during Tour de Fleece, which was forever ago. I've just forgotten to bring it down and show you. And I have one more skein to show. It's very, very squishy, and it's almost a fingering weight. You can see. Yeah. It's almost a fingering weight. I am kind of discovering that the key for me to getting things that are closer to fingering weight is to have a more tightly plied twist, because then it doesn't plump as much. If I don't ply it very tightly, then it plumps a lot after its bath, and it's no longer fingering weight, even though it looks like it is when I'm plying it. But yay, I love it. Once I get Christmas done and knit my daughter an entire winter wardrobe and everything, I'm going to do a whole bunch of handspun knitting because I really love knitting with my handspun. Now to enabling, I'm still showing you guys some stuff that I got at SSK because I'm not buying anything new till Stitches, Texas, which is in the end of September. And then this is one of the things I got at the market there, and it's another Crafty girl. And this is actually a set of mini skeins, and it's really neat. I'm going to go ahead and kind of undo it for you guys. But you take this, it's not going to let me do it. But there are 7 different mini skeins in here. And you can kind of see, I can't get it to go all, but I was just really drawn to this color, and it is the Come and Play Mini Skein Bundle Strong Sock set of 7, and there are a whole bunch, it tells you all the different colors, but there's 40 yards of each color. So it'll be perfect for my sock yarn blanket, which I need to work on. I have pulled it out, and I thought of working on it this week, and then I thought, maybe do a square or two. The next thing is some Cyborg's Craftroom. And I had to have some at first because I've never tried it. I bought some to do a giveaway on the podcast in January or something, and so I gave some away and I still have never gotten to try it, so I will get to try some now. And that's her thing. And this is the Asocolate 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards, and it's in the Bangarang. Anybody know the reference to that like I do? Do you remember the Robin Williams movie where he played in the Hook? Dennis Hoffman played Hook, I believe. And the concept of the movie is that Peter Pan went and grew up, and the Lost Boys or Hook or somebody come, or Tinkerbell, and kidnap him back to Never Never Land. And one of the phrases that the Lost Boys always say is "Bangarang," and it kind of means cool. I don't know. But that just made me smile. She has a lot of pop culture references, so that's always fun with the yarns. Lastly, for group news, we have our Little Ones Cal going on right now in the podcast group for the BookishStitcher podcast on Ravelry. And there have been some beautiful and adorable finished objects in the No Chatter FO thread, and I think it just has been so inspirational to me to want to go and knit more, seeing all the things that you guys have been knitting. And Akimi, I think that's how you say it, Akimi, she has been getting so many things done, and it's so cute. And she asked if she said that everybody she knows right now is having babies, and can she enter a ton? I said, yes, everybody, knit as many as you possibly can. And I'm going to too, because like I said, have cast on for... I will be casting on later today for a couple more things for my daughter. That is all of the group news stuff today. And now to the book. Last week I reviewed A Girl on the Train, and this week I am reviewing The Lace Reader. This is a library book. The Lace Reader by Brunonia Berry. I am reading this along with the wonderful O Loops girls, and I think they have a yarn color for this book. I have to go check it out. It's probably really pretty, but I'm not buying anything right now. But I'm sure it's gorgeous because all their yarn is gorgeous. And this book made me think about, we were talking on the episode thread from last week. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who commented. My husband actually got on Ravelry. This crazy. He created an account months ago and never got into anything. But I had a lot of work I was having to do on Monday night, and he was laughing out loud. And I said, what are you laughing at? What's so funny? He was on Ravelry reading you guys' comments. He loved it so much. He now wants to do videos all the time for the podcast. He will probably do some more, but it's not going to be every time. But thank you. Thank you so much for being so sweet to him about that, because it really made his week. Every time a new comment would pop up, he loved it. And he actually went on there and talked on the episode thread, I think, once and introduced himself in the group. It was very weird talking to him on Ravelry, but I think his name is Jace the Yarn Sculptor or something like that. It's a magic reference because he likes to play magic. But anyways, tangent. The book this week is The Lace Reader. And I was thinking about this book. I finished it for the read-along, but Penny Gale was actually talking on the Ravelry thread about how much she loves unreliable narrators. And the girl on the train had an unreliable narrator, and it made me think, Penny Gale, I believe this one also has an unreliable narrator. If you consider that the main character who is telling a lot of the story has been in a mental institution before for a mental breakdown, then that's probably an unreliable character too. But this story is about Towner Whitney. Yes, Towner Whitney. And her great aunt, I believe it's either her aunt or her great aunt, dies, and she has to go back to Salem area, which is where her family has lived forever, but she has not been back since a horrible incident happened. I won't go into that, I don't want to spoil it. So she hasn't been back for almost 2 decades, I believe, and she goes back there to attend the funeral. And there's mysterious, oh, not the funeral, her aunt is missing. There's mysterious instances about they're trying to find the aunt and all this stuff. And Towner, she very much so is an unreliable narrator in that she tells you all this stuff is happening, and she talks about her mental breakdown that she had, and she tells you right off that part of what landed her in the mental health hospital, was some visions that she was having that were not true about things that had happened on the island and different things like that. And so she goes home because her great aunt, I believe, has gone missing and they're looking for her. And then throughout the book you find there's another person missing too, Angela, who is a member of this group. So it's Salem, and of course it has a lot of history with witches and things like that. And so there are the witches on the one side, and they're now not persecuted anymore. They're out in the open. And then there are these people who it's a religious cult, who call themselves the Calvinists because their leader is Calvin, and he's an awful man who did awful things to people and suddenly found Jesus, and then he was all better, even though he still was doing awful things in the book. So really, he didn't find Jesus because Jesus would not want you to do awful things. So kind of another one of those things, somebody doing something in the name of someone else that shouldn't be done. And so it's very much a book about the history of the town, the history of what's been going on in the town, and the history of this family. And it is, again, another one with really strong women characters. The women in this family are all lace readers, and what that means is, you know how you have palm readers and things like that, and people that read the bumps in your head. I'm forgetting the exact term for that right now. But the women in this family read lace, and what they do is there's special kinds of lace, I believe, that is made on this one little island off the coast, and they hold the lace up to their eyes and they focus on it until things kind of become blurry, and then a vision comes to them. And supposedly everyone in the family has this power to either read lace or to kind of have precognitions of what's going to happen in the future. And that does definitely play into the story. It's very interesting, all the things that happen with that. And I enjoyed it. I would say that I did not enjoy it as much as Girl on the Train. It's more like I wasn't very, who did it? Oh, could it be him? Could it be her? It didn't have that element for me. It does have a very big twist in the end, but because it isn't going all throughout the twists, like on Girl on the Train, where you know the crime pretty much from the beginning, and you're trying to figure out, or you know if something has happened from the beginning and you're trying to figure it out. This one, the twist, you don't know till basically the last chapter or two. And I really enjoyed it. It was a very light, easy read. And as I say, I got it from the library, so I'm completely happy. It probably is not one that I would ever buy. But if you're looking for something that you can read very quickly and get from your library, The Lace Reader. by Brunonia Berry would be a great choice for a fun kind of mystery. I think it is classified as a mystery, yeah. And I would check that out if that sounds like something that you would like. So that is everything I have for this week. I look forward to talking to you next week, and I hope you have a wonderful upcoming week. I keep saying the word week, and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.